This is my dawn declaration, define expectations, inspired to aspire to higher elevation. Started at Genesis, read the entire revelation, dedication, meditation, and some fire medication. Judge a prophet and a poet, both body reputation, fanatically practice. Perfection requires preparation. I go hard, like this could be the last chance.
Welcome back to I Got the Last Word. Before the break, you got to see a couple of our contestants go up. We've got about 3 more, but before they go on, we want to bring up a special guest poet. Each week, we like to highlight somebody from the community that has been doing poetry for a long time so that you get an opportunity to spotlight and see other poets here that aren't a part of this contest, because Arizona has a rich and vibrant poetry community. This person I'm going to bring up is a dear, dear friend of mine. Went to college with him, and when I was just getting into poetry and starting it, he was running the poetry scene at ASU, Arizona State University. And then he stepped back from it, and he wanted to build a place for poets. And I remember him sitting down with a friend of mine, Flipside, that's going to join us next week, and saying, we need a place for the poets, a place for us to get to rejoice, to get re-energized and reflect, and I'm going to name it Home Base. And he did that, and he ran Home Base for 10 years. And it was the most amazing thing. There were sponsors, there were events, there were party weekends, there were game nights. He did so much for the community that when he left, it was such a big hole and such a sadness for that to go. But he had to go. He is a father, an amazing father. He is finishing up his master's. He's got one book and is finishing up his other one, so hopefully he will share that with all of us. But please welcome someone near and dear to the poetry community, Mr. HB. I know. So I'm not going to say much because I'll have to just bow to the king. So you are looking at poetry royalty right now, thinking about people that started it. And so I'm going to leave the stage and let Mr. HB show us his thing. Look. Hold on to your seatbelts because this man is deep. All right.
I'm the poor black version of Calvin Klein. I have an obsession. I have to have a pen in my possession. My computer is my priest, and I'm constantly in confession. I got paper scattered in every direction. Trying to stop writing is like voting in Florida's last election. Hopeless. I keep a dictionary under my pillow and thesaurus under my mattress so they could catch me sleeping. If I'm not typing, I'm not eating. Me and my poems got to stop meeting like this. I feel like I gave birth to my verse. It even has my likeness, so I write this to express that. I'm obsessed. It's my medicine. So when I'm possessed with ADHD and manic depression, I take lyrical Prozac and Ritalin, mind filled with adrenaline, brainstorming for random synonyms, thinking well beyond the Benjamins, balancing my masculine and feminine, tasting sweet success like Entenmann's. My sentences pillages like Genghis Khan did villages. It's hard to fight the militant because when I speak, my uncles reminisce, duel with emotion, cause my nieces and nephews be feeling this. Teaching that they could balance aggression and tenderness, and that sex ain't love unless it has a tender kiss. Me not composing is like an organization with no membership. I don't exist. So I persist to breed my pen and paper, trying to rise to my potential like vapor. What I say is sweet, cause I do it now and later. Create wow from paper, and like the V pointed to the right, now I'm greater. Westside Chicago's gang emancipator. Phoenix, Arizona's heat regulator. Constantly sacrificing virgin pure ideas to my maker via my pen and paper. I'm obsessed. My heart pumps ink, just axe my chest. Just take a look at my blue veins to discover my true name. Some say I'm insane because I stalk poetry like I had megastar type fame. Put spoken word in a needle. I have tracks like trains, let it infest my brain. Then get to the open mic and overdose on stage in front of everyone with no shame. Yeah, now that's poetry. Thank you. Thank you. This is like a homecoming for me. Y'all don't understand. I moved from Chicago when I was just about to hit 16, and I moved from the west side of Chicago to Avondale, just few blocks down on Madison. You know what I mean? So these my old stomping grounds. My dad worked right over there, and that McDonald's on Dicer was my first job. And so I used to have to catch rides into the Phoenix, Central, and Camelback to just find somewhere to read poetry. So the fact that y'all in the neighborhood, this means the world. And when she told me where it was located, I was like, I gotta go. I gotta go. So just so y'all know, Avondale brought me back. I had to be here with y'all. Real talk. For real. This next piece is it's one of my favorites. I'm a nerd, happily, right? Proud nerd, and I'm also a romantic. And I started off as a love poet 27 years ago. So this is a nerd's love poem. Mathematically speaking, if 2 plus 2 equals 4, then you plus you must equal what I've never had before, what I've always been asking for. If I gave you too much of my love for too long, would it be for our future, considering I ate all of our wrongs? Can I redo yesterday's equation if the present sum brings me to the conclusion that when I added, I didn't carry my heart? For example, 1 plus 1 equals 2, but you plus me equals 3 or more. Considering the children that would be, I'm sure that you can see that this is the pure form of love mathematics. A tad bit more difficult than statistics because it has a quantitative base. But qualitatively, I must add the numbers of your embrace. I must count the digits in your face. I must subtract extraneous variables that could affect the interview survey, like bitter friends who don't want to see you happy and convince you to drown your love in apathy. Like Hawthorne effects that get you to act differently because you know others are watching. But I've been trained in geometry, so I turn those into fractions and divide them, making it quite simple to solve them. Let's do a word problem. If infinity was over me, plus you on top of me, the sum would be a goddess as the numerator, being held up by the most uncommon common denominator. But since you and I are equals, the sum could easily be simplified to 1, as we become one body and one soul, one mind with one goal, making love on textbook page 88, because laid down side by side, we are infinity times 2, with you and 6 obtuse and me and 9 acute type angles, adding up to 4 90-degree right angles, equivalent to 360 degrees of everlasting passion, never having to ration the action. No need to question and be asking what happened, but if you're still asking and questioning the mental serum, allow me to use a syllogism to explain the theorem. If A always equals B and B always equals C, then A always equals, class, C. So if you are forever the air that I breathe and the blood in my veins, and living is impossible without saying your name, then without you, I cannot exist. In every way, it just makes sense. The potential outcome is definitely worth the risk. The possibility of living in eternal bliss in the midst of your kiss. After intense consideration and deep deliberation, I've come to the conclusion that there's no need to be proud and act tough. We were meant to be together. Mathematically speaking, it just adds up. Thank you.
All right. Like I said, amazing. And that is the kind of talent and wisdom and the person that birthed home base and gave poets a home away from home and gave us a place to shape, share, reflect. And so this is what our community has to offer. So here at I Got the Last Word, you're seeing just a slice of the talent that we have here. And HB and the other guest poets that we bring each week get to show you a little bit of the flavor that Arizona has to offer. All right, so let's get back into the competition. All right, so we've got 3 contestants left. Our next one we're going to bring up is Jesenia L. and she is from Chicago. And her life in itself has been a lot of joy, a lot of sorrow, a lot of pain. And we've been able to watch her each week, just kind of from she leaves us in tears. Last week, she made us feel empowered. Every week, she is taking us on this journey and digging herself up. And we are seeing this beautiful diamond shining before us, who once was made to feel like a piece of coal. So please welcome up Miss Jesenia L.
So the pressure made me deeper. Let's go deeper. I'm the definition of going hard when all is wrong. Right power, crushing the autobahn, the marathon. It's automatic, I'm going at it, I'm working at it. Always need to hit it at best, messing my work habits. Leading me up to my level, these haters on top of following these footsteps. Prepped as a role model.
All right. Woo! So, Jesenia, it's been a ride. You've taken us on so many roller coaster rides. We never know what's coming up, but we always expect it to be amazing. So, good luck. We'll see you in a bit.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Jesenia. Thank you so much for sharing this space with me. The name of this piece is called Prayers Can't Be Heard. Let me tell you this. You see this right here helped me through my youth. This number 2 was better than a prayer. It worked better than a prayer. I felt like every time I wrote, God understood my language better. You see, because where I'm from, prayers can't be heard through the wailing of mothers holding up their shot up sons, bleeding rivers down Chicago streets. Prayers can't be heard through the loud silence of broken dreams. Maybe Langston Hughes' definition of a dream deferred referred to this. Our sons drying up in the sun, laying dead across cement, like festering sores, all because they dared to run with guns. But look at the friends of my youth, stinking like rotten meat. Like rotten meat. And maybe, yes, it is sugary sweet to be dead than to have to live through the violence and hatred of our city. Maybe my friend Ashley, maybe she was better off dead when they found her 15-year-old body under that bridge at 1110 South Laramie Avenue. I couldn't believe it when I heard the news. 15. What was her twin brother supposed to do? See, in my youth, I learned that prayers can't be heard when mangled bodies are laying under bridges. So I use this to help me fight murderous demons, rapists, like the one who took Ashley away from our hood. But get this, hours after they found her body, Her killer shot and killed her stepbrother and her father too. I'm telling you, prayers can't be heard through the acts of revenge. Because no matter what, it always leads to more bloodshed. But they don't teach us this in our youth. When we're growing up, they encourage us to be about that life and pick up guns. That you need to be in a gang in order to have protection. But I knew that wasn't true. So I picked up my number 2. This helped me to cry. This helped me to vent my frustrations and my heartache every time my friends died. And so I thought, if I just wrote their names down, somehow I could keep them alive. But who was I kidding? Nobody cared that our youth was dying. Nobody cared that we were dealt drugs in public schools by police officers. We were being drugged up, shot up, initiated into gangs, and raped. Nobody taught us how to pray. You want to know why? Because prayers can't be heard when the fate of our lives is determined by the color of our shoelaces. Forget the pigmentation of our faces. See, when we're dead and our face is on the news, that's the only shot we have at becoming famous. And I'm telling you, this helped to save me. Not a gun, not a drug, not more violence. This. It helped me to write my worries away. Helped me to erase the cries of sirens. It gave me courage when I was afraid that maybe I wouldn't come back home again because maybe I would be a victim of kidnapping. See, back then, it was just like Tupac said. Misery was my only friend, and the youth, we were just like him, writing letters to our unborn children. But I live because of this. And sometimes I feel guilty that I made it out alive, that I left my bleeding city behind just so that my future children could have a better life, a better chance at getting ahead rather than a greater risk at getting shot in the head. Because we all know that prayers can't be heard when we're dead. Thank you, guys.
Oh my gosh. Every time I just want to give you a big hug, like, oh my gosh. Thank you so much. And thank you for saying all that you always say. You speak not just for yourself, but you speak for so many people and so many experiences. And regardless of this, never stop that, because it is truly healing and amazing. And thank you. All right, let's see what our judges have to say. Ben.
Jesenia, tonight, your piece, I guess what I want to say, your pieces are almost, they have some similarities. You know, you're in that vein. I'm kind of looking for a little bit more for you to take it in a different direction, because you know, from just hearing your pieces, they're kind of in the same ballpark. Connection, I'm just gonna start from the bottom. Connection, I didn't hear the audience get into as far as the connection. Believability, it was there. Versatile, deliverance, there was drama, but once again, you're kind of still in that same vein. That you need to kind of get out of that vein and take it to another level. And even though if you're trying to, maybe that's just your way of ministry to people, what you've been through in that area, but still kind of bring a happy medium to it.
I know we had wondered if you were going to be versatile this time. It was something that we had deliberated about. What, like Ben had said, would it be in the same vein as the messages or the poetry that you previously had given? And so the versatility wasn't there this time. I wouldn't say that we were always looking for, that we were hoping to look for something happy, just more versatile. But I always say that you're very theatrical. I mean, you really can just absorb the attention in the room. You can do that, quite frankly, very well by yourself. The message is understood very well with gun violence and gangs. It was told, and it was very dramatic in that way. I kind of feel that this was a speech for a governor's office, or that was more of a speech about gun violence and gang violence. So in that aspect, I didn't find it as much as poetry this time around as I did when you were more fluid with your other pieces. So I'd say maybe work on another piece. Given the opportunity again. You're very theatrical, so your deliverance is very well. The connection was there from the audience because of the background that you were given, but I just think you lost us with what the potential you had before. I mean, we're looking for, I don't know, I like to say what it is, not a happy place, but just something more versatile. So we just worked on that. It was a nice piece, but I think that I would prefer to hear something different from you and look forward to seeing what else you have to offer.
So once again, I'm going to go off my own. I enjoyed the piece. I think one of the reasons why I enjoyed it, I read some articles today. One of them was about a young man who, I think it was in Austin, Texas today. He intervened in a guy that was beating up a smaller child, and he ended up getting shot and killed later on. And then another instance was in California, I think on Friday, where a kid was walking down the street, and I think probably had on represented the wrong colors in that particular neighborhood. And he was shot and killed. He's only 19 years old. So I guess for me, the piece resonated with what I read. Also, being a father who was very thankful to have his son grow up, in the West Valley, and get out of that, not be a part of that, and having 4 grandsons who I'm just very thankful that they're not involved in that. Try to get them involved in sports and the arts and things like that, and then having a great granddaughter. What are they going to look like? Well, this is real world stuff, and you're presenting real world things that have happened or that you've seen or you witnessed. I love the fact, to me, on the delivery, was that you brought the address into play. And so that I thought resonated. I kind of looked over at our guest poet and Tamika. I saw the emotion. And I was like, wow, okay, that like he knew where that location was. He knew exactly where that avenue was. So to me, again, I'm going off the beaten path. I loved the piece. I thought the drama was there. I thought the connectivity was there. The believability was certainly. You always bring that real world stuff. I think what Phyllis and Ben are talking about is there anything happy that's going on in your world? I mean, you're a fighter, you're a survivor, and you brought us all this real world stuff. So I think what I want to see is, man, show me some smiles next time. Because every time I leave here, the first thing I want to do is I can't wait for this video to be uploaded because I want to see the reaction. I have friends of mine that work to see these, and every time one of my friends looks at and watches the upload, she goes, "Oh my God, this person just makes me want to cry every time I watch it." And she binge watches these as we go through these. So I appreciate you so much. You're such a talented. To Phyllis's point, you are a dramatic artist. Okay, you just have that, and you're an actor. You're an actress. And so that comes out in your pieces. So thank you for sharing your life with us.
So you heard what the judges had to say. Poet to poet, I know they want happier because you've given us a lot. You've given us stuff about domestic violence. You've given us molestation. You've given us And last week you gave us empowerment, so that's where we were like, yes, you know, you were saying I am. And then this week you brought the gun violence, but you're talking about real things. And it's hard as poets to write about happy things. We can't all write about love and rainbows and butterflies because that stuff doesn't hit you sometimes. And the things that you can speak and that give you power are often those sad things, right? The things that aren't pretty and the things that we need to hear. And so keep, like I said, keep doing you, keep writing your message because it is being heard and it is changing people, okay?
Awesome.
So
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, folks, we are back. I got the last word. Round 4, season 2. We are here with Jesenia RJ. Jesenia, as she told me. How you doing, Queen?
I'm good. How are you, King?
I'm cooling. I'm
All
cooling.
right,
I'm
awesome.
cooling. I got a lot of energy. Just got off the road from Tucson, so
Okay.
pretty interesting. I'm probably on fumes right now. Like I probably don't know what the hell I'm doing right now. But anyway, how are you doing?
I'm great.
That's what's up. How did it go on stage?
I'm proud of my performance.
Okay.
I think it went well.
Okay, judges gave you some good feedback.
They did. They
Okay.
they wanted some more versatility. A couple of the judges, one of them likes, you know, what I got to share and what I have to
Gotcha.
say.
Yeah, they trying to pull it out of y'all, boy. With the versatility, like, can you come with something different next time? Can you add a little, you know, paprika?
Because I'm always happy in real life.
Right.
And I'm always like this cheerleader, pepping everybody up.
Okay.
Like that's like me every day. So on stage, it's kind of like this is my chance to get out all my stuff.
Right. I follow you.
But I feel them. I agree.
Yeah. But I like what you said last week when Tamika was asking you, like, what are you gonna do and stuff. Like you said, I'm gonna be me. That's what's up. Yeah. So what you think about the bonus round with the 5 words?
I'm excited.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like challenges.
Oh, that's what's up.
So it's fun. I don't know if I'll do well, but never know unless you try.
Yeah, so tonight they have the bonus round where the judges will be giving them 5 words and they have to come up with something on the spot that's added to the judging tonight. So we will see how it goes because it is eliminations. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. And I'll take with me the memories to be my sunshine after the rain. It's hey, we got the last word. We'll holler at y'all next time. Yes.
This is my Don declaration, define expectations, inspired to aspire to higher elevation. Started at Genesis, read the entire Revelation. Dedication, meditation, and some fire medication. Judge a prophet and a poet, both body reputation. Fanatically practice, perfection requires preparation.